All right, I'd like to welcome everybody out to the webinar, the Idaho Innovation Center Small Business Development Center webinar for on Friday, July 22nd. Man, the summer is flying away. And I'd like to welcome everybody. The presentation today is on the secrets of search engine optimization. And we've got a great presenter today. Just a little bit of news up front for those people that might jump off a little bit early. The webinar, we did make a change to the schedule. Tyler's going to be leaving town on the date that he was scheduled next Friday. So we moved him up to this week, and next week's presentation will be the one that was scheduled for today on banking. And we've got a great lineup, a great presenter for next week on banking and how to make sure that you're utilizing all the resources available through your banking avenue. So with that, I will, this is the second presentation of Tyler, so I won't give him a lot. I can tell you this, that Tyler did redo our the website here with the Idaho Innovation Center, and I think that I'll summarize up the performance that he did. Usually whenever I've created a website for a company with a company, it seems like I do a lot of the work and wait and wait and wait, and it was just the opposite with Tyler with his company Krupp Incorporated. They did, I mean, surprisingly 95% of the work and was kicking my butt, and I was by far the dragging one behind it. So you don't usually find that. Got a very professional, modern web design company, and he's got a great presentation today on search engine optimization. So with that quick introduction, I will turn everything over to you, Tyler, and you have the floor.
Perfect, thank you. Appreciate the kind words as well, Brian. It was a good experience working with you guys and really redesigning and rebranding the Idaho Innovation Center's website to really take advantage of your guys' target demographic. Everybody else, welcome to the presentation and happy Friday. Hopefully you guys have had a good week. As fellow entrepreneurs, it's probably been hopefully not too stressful, but just the right amount of stressful to continue that entrepreneurial spirit. But yeah, as Brian said, my name's Tyler Kropp. I'm the CEO and founder of Krupp Incorporated. We're a 5-person team located in downtown Idaho Falls. We're an award-winning agency that really strives to create creative design elements and good user interface and experience approaches to small business owners' online marketing presence. If you guys joined me for my last presentation, we discussed a little bit about the importance of good user experience and design and really minimal content as it relates to your target demographic of an online user. This presentation is kind of an extension of that in terms of how Krupp Inc. looks at our marketing strategy and marketing strategy for our clients really is focused around business development and really trying to understand the ins and outs of how to use the internet. We're not tech gurus, we're not kind of the people that you talk to within the tech industry where they're talking to you about meta tags and all these crazy keywords and all the nitty-gritty search engine optimization keywords, or all those kind of jargon points. We really strive for what's the end goal of the business and how do we get there? Is it online? Is it offline? Is it user experience? What's the touch points that will help your business the best? So this talk today is a little bit, once we start going through these keys and tips, you're going to find that a lot of these items are really self-explanatory and kind of general, but really if you excel at all of these items, I can guarantee you that you're going to excel with your online presence. So let's go ahead and get into it. Just to recap really quickly, if you guys, for the people that weren't on the last webinar that I did, once again, I'm the CEO of Krupp Inc. I started the company when I was 16 years old. I'm 25 years old now. Graduated a couple years ago with my bachelor's from the Art Institute of Salt Lake City in web design and interactive media. I attended a course a couple summers ago from the Stanford University Technology Department, graduated and received my certification in technology entrepreneurship from the University of Stanford in California. So that was a good introduction on the philosophies that I'm going to talk to you about today in terms of really understanding and appreciating your business's end goals and then finding the appropriate touch points to reach that. Next, I'm a Greater Idaho Falls Chamber of Commerce Distinguished Under 40 Award winner, and my company, Crop Inc., is a 6-time Idaho Falls Advertising Award winning recipient, including a Best in Show for some of our local clients a couple years ago. So yeah, with that, that's kind of my background. Let's get into some of the tips and introduction. So for people that don't know, SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. Obviously, what search engine optimization is taking your newly created website, hopefully designed beautifully and integrated with all of the new concepts, hint, Crop Inc. if you need a new website. But basically, SEO is the ongoing marketing of that new website, utilizing the search engine results for targeted keyword research and really implementing some sort of plan and strategy to get the most targeted consumers, users, visitors, leads to that website. So that's kind of the SEO ballgame in a nutshell. A couple interesting stats that I pulled from the SEO statistic report from Moz that comes out once a year is 70% of the links that users search and click on through Google are organic. 70 to 80% of those users actually ignore the paid ads, focusing on the organic results. So you've probably seen those paid ads at the top of Google that are the pay-per-click ballgame, which are still advantageous for a business that's beginning to start out and really has the money to invest in digital marketing. But SEO is really more of a long-term play in terms of you're not going to see your keyword research paying off until, you know, say 4 to 6 months down the road. So it's really an ongoing attempt to really rank as high as you can. Another interesting stat is 75% of users never scroll past the first page of search results. So if you're not ranking on that first page for your particular service keywords, you're really not seeing any of the advantages of being online. And lastly, one of the most important local factors that's happening on a local level is the actual review system of Google Plus and your Google listings. 88% of customers trust online reviews as much as they trust personal recommendations. That's a huge number. And with the ever-changing algorithm of Google, what's happening is they're placing a more prominent ranking factor on actual good reviews and good experience from your consumers. So if you're not getting reviews after you finish a project or after you talk to your consumer, you're absolutely missing out on what the online search marketing and Google search results can do for your business. And I just put a small little, it's kind of a recurring joke in the digital marketing agency where the best place to hide a dead body is actually on page 2 of Google search results because absolutely nobody looks on those pages. So yeah, that's SEO in a nutshell. Really comes down to 2 things, especially if you're a local business and you can excel at these 2 things, you're going to see exponential growth online and you're going to start to see your website ranking for search factors that are important to you. The first one is really evidence of locality. What Google does is they go through this crazy, difficult algorithm and an automated approach to really establish if your business is localized and if you're providing that great experience. They do that through a combination of multiple efforts, whether it's content that's on your website, making sure that your addresses match up with your online presence, making sure that the directory websites are you're verified on those directory websites. And then a continuation of that is Google wants to know that you're providing a great experience. They want the evidence of a great experience. And if you're providing a great experience offline to your customers, let's say with your contracts and your invoices and even your face-to-face relations, you should be considering what's the great experience online. Could that be, are they finding the information on your website that's most relevant to them? Can they find your address quickly and easily? Are you creating and publishing curated content that really provides value to your customers and potential customers? And really, in a nutshell, those 2 items, if you can excel at those items and really establish some sort of strategy, you're going to see growth in your local market. You can see here what we've done on the right-hand side of this image is if you search web designer Idaho Falls, web design Idaho Falls, even web development Idaho Falls, we show up in those first few ranking factors because we've established our map listing, we've established our Google reviews, we've got 15 five-star reviews, we've confirmed our addresses, all of those factors that Google looks at to see, is Crop Inc. a real business and can they provide that great experience? And then once you get to the top page, you'll see that we have a couple competitors ranking, and we feel that if we can get to the top page in the first three, by the time the user does their market research and goes to those three and sees our unique differentiators with our good design tactics, our extensive portfolio, our unique team characteristics, they'll give us a call and request a quote. So really that's SEO in a nutshell. A lot of tech companies and people you've talked to have probably come up and submitted a proposal to you, and there's all of this crazy tech jargon and all of these features that you have no idea what they even mean, from meta keywords and analytical research and all of this stuff. But from a business perspective, these are the two elements that will really provide the most benefit to your company. So with that, I'm going to delve a little bit deeper into all of the key features that you need to have in order to establish those two features of locality and a great experience. So the first key is really on-page website factors. This is what most SEO tech writers and developers are really good at, and they know how to integrate all of these features into your website. But really, with the right studying and the right understanding, you can do these just as well. The first tip is to confirm your website and contact information. That's pretty obvious, but make sure that everything on your website is listed exactly how you want it to be listed through the web. The next item that really comes onto with the website factors is really taking a look at your content, the content that's on your home page and your About Us page, and really all of the pages that your consumer might potentially look at. Is that content curated for the user journey and for your target demographic? Make sure you're authentic and truthful. Make sure that you're publishing information and content related to your business that's new, relevant, fresh, and curated. I know a lot of this sounds generalized and simple, but in essence, Google has created a technology platform and algorithm that can detect if you're being authentic or not. Really, that's what it comes down to, is what's the quality score of your content? Have you done the research, and are the keywords inserted in an organic way, and you're not just loading your paragraph with all of your particular keywords that might be related to your business? Make sure that if you guys do have a website that you're publishing new and fresh content, make sure that your verticals are fresh and that your information is really has substance that the user is going to find advantageous. It doesn't do any good if you just write a couple paragraphs about whatever your potential demographic or kind of vertical industry might be. The real advantage is providing that fresh and curated content. So if you don't have a content strategy, I definitely recommend starting to establish what are some of the elements that you could research and write about to really show your expertise, that you are providing a great experience for new consumers and your previous clients. The second key that really that Google really looks at in terms of finding if you're providing that great experience and if you're an established local business is, does your website have links from authentic and local sites known for good content? If you can get a backlink from the Post-Register or Idaho Falls Magazine, or maybe some trade show websites that you're using within your industry, that tells Google that because this website has the authority and they decided to place your website URL on their website, whether it's a blog post, an article, press release, whatever it may be, you automatically get more authenticity with your website, and that's backtracked, and you do get the approval and increase in ranking from that. So like we said here with the off-page factors, is these are elements influenced by readers, visitors, and other publishers. So make sure you're circulating your content and information out in a good, authentic way. Google looks at the trust factor and says, are these links authority links? Do these links, shares, and other factors make this site a trusted authority? What's the engaged level of your website as well as the reader site that you've received the link from? Do visitors spend time reading, or do they bounce away quickly? What's the history of your website and the reading website? The longer your domain has been around, the more established authenticity you will have. The identity, making sure that everything's just transparent and the authorship is true and unique. And then finally, with piracy and ads is the link that you're getting from, say, the Post-Register or Iowa Falls Magazine when you circulated your press release, as well as the website that you have. Is the website designed well and provides that good user experience? You actually get docked with if your content is ad heavy and if your content is below the fold and ads take up the majority of the viewer's website when they open it on their browser. So always consider that the pros and cons of publishing good creative content versus trying to get those dollar and cents. So the next key that's really important that you should really be thinking about in terms of strategy is your citations. There are services out there that will actually take your business information and will circulate it to all of the address directories online. There's hundreds of online directories that people could search to find your service, whether it's Google Plus or maybe it's Yelp or maybe somebody's searching in Yellow Pages. They might even be searching in Facebook or directly in Twitter. Making sure that your address and information is curated and the same across all of those avenues is really going to pay dividends. So if somebody searches you and you have a Yelp page or you have a Facebook page and all of your business addresses are matching, you actually get more authenticity and ranking factors with that Google algorithm. There are some services out there that can do that for you automatically, and I'd love to share those services with you. You guys can email me or get in touch with me through Brian for some of those resources. Really, it comes down to all of these online tactics. Are you trusted and are you reliable? That's really, in essence, what it is. So Google looks at the locality and says, are people searching for your keywords in your region? Have people visited your website in the past and find what they need? Is your social media channels up to par and providing good, fresh, curated content, and you're engaging with your customers and your followers? And then finally, what's your reputation online? What's your social media channels looking like in terms of the reviews? And last but not least, how many shares are you receiving on your social networks? All of those factors tie into establishing yourself as the expertise in your local area for the particular keywords that you've selected. Key 4, one of the last keys, and in my opinion, what I feel is some of the most important elements of ranking locally. I've really seen success with this, and all it takes is you setting up a Google Plus page and asking your customers to leave reviews. In digital marketing and especially localized marketing on a local level, reviews are becoming more and more popular in Google's algorithm, because these are our local consumers. These are our local clients that can turn around and say, Crop Inc. does a good job for us, and we believe in what they're doing, and you should hire them too. So as you can see, we've set up our Google Plus page, and we've received 15 5-star reviews from our clients and colleagues. And really, Google looks at that and says, wow, this design agency must really have some good processes in place. They have a great team in place, and they're providing great services to local businesses. So we automatically jump exponentially in the ranking factors, even if we haven't optimized our website, even if we haven't done all of the other items, because Google looks at this and says they are a real legitimate company and they're providing value to their users and customers. So that's the one big takeaway I'd like you guys to realize from this presentation with SEO is if you don't have a review platform set up and you're not curating those reviews from all of your previous customers, you are absolutely and exponentially losing out on online revenue and targeted traffic to your website. And last but not least, this key 5 is actually bringing it all together. This image I can provide as well if anybody's interested, but we've kind of used this as our go-to for the periodic table of SEO success factors. So really this is the online strategy that we use for our clients in our own internal websites, and it's kind of just a checklist to make sure that everything's covered and that you're integrating these features on a recurring basis. One preconceived notion about the SEO industry is that they take your money each month and do very limited work, but on the contrary, SEO companies and digital marketing agencies really need monthly time because each of these elements can be curated and increased and advanced on a monthly basis. So you allocate resources with a digital marketing team, and they'll go through each and every one of these and make sure that you're making leaps and bounds with your ranking factor. So this is kind of our cropping checklist for our internal digital marketing strategy. We look at your content and go through quality and research and make sure that we're helping you publish and create new fresh content. We always look at the architecture of the website, the back end, to make sure that it's secure, that you have the speed, load time, that the responsive design mobile elements are in place. We take a look at your HTML titles and descriptions and go through all of that kind of tech jargon stuff to make sure that Google can index your website. And then really we focus on the off-the-page factors from a business development standpoint. We help you and establish your trust factor and come up with marketing strategies to really make you the authority in your particular target demographic in your service industry. We go through and make sure that businesses are aware of you and published companies are aware of you, so we circulate press releases and make sure that we get you those backlinks that are true and transparent within your local market. And finally, we help you establish your social presence and your personal presence. We want to make sure that once a user finds you from your Google search results, they have that great same experience so that you can then tie in the review system on the back end and make sure you're getting those 5-star reviews to establish yourself as an expert in your local region. So that kind of sums up the presentation today. That's I know it's a lot of information and I sped through it quickly, but I wanted to save a few minutes for questions if anybody had any thoughts. But last tip is our business development team and our creative design agency can actually do these tips and tricks for you on a monthly basis. So this is kind of our creative team. We've got Miss Monica Bitrick, who's our client liaison, and business development expertise within our digital marketing strategy department. And then we have our project manager and designers and developers who help execute the plan that we help facilitate. So with that, I'll conclude with one more thing. Obviously, our tagline here, good design is good business. We really, truly, honestly believe that designing your business, not just graphic design, but the strategy and overall execution of your business is the most important thing. And we've got a picture here of a guy presenting to his coworkers that says, our marketing program is clearly successful as shown by this graph of how awesome I think it is. Always keep that in the back of your mind in terms of delivering the experience of your target demographic, not necessarily what you want. And that applies to pretty much your entire business, but more specifically to your website as well as your digital marketing campaign. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and conclude and send it back over to Brian, and I'm interested if anybody has any questions or thoughts.
Great. Tyler's phone number is there at the bottom of that screen, so if you all want to write it down, contact him directly. I've got a question for you. Years ago, when I was helping a company design a website, they had their designer suggested that they were a contracting company in Salt Lake, and they suggested that in order to be searched when people in different areas were searching, they listed all of the cities, West Valley City, Draper, Kearns, all those cities. For all of northern Utah, they literally listed them on their website in a page, but they were like hidden. They were in there, but yet you couldn't really see them, and they said that's the best way. And then I've also heard from other people that actually does damage, that some of those things are damaging. Can you tell me what's up with that one?
Yeah, definitely. So that was kind of a strategy that worked a couple years ago, but really the algorithms have changed to providing good curated localized content. So what I would recommend shifting with that potential client is actually creating a subpage of Kearns, of Bountiful, of Salt Lake City, or whatever they may be, and actually provide that localized content that would be related specifically to that area rather than just listing it. It's not going to do very good to just list your business area and expect to see those returns. And what Crop Inc. does actually is we have a curated landing page for every market that we target. So we've got landing pages in Idaho, we've got landing pages in Utah, California, Washington, Oregon. And what we do with these landing pages is we actually curate the content and information so it's directly related to that particular user. So like this landing page, we've got Smart Utah website design and development. And we go through here and talk about the advantages of hiring us even though we're based in Idaho, but we still provide that kind of curated content. So really that's the future of digital marketing is really providing that value on a localized level and segmenting it out that way.
Okay. Very good. Anybody else have any other questions of how you can get your business higher rated in the search engine optimization? I know Mr. Brady out there's got to have a question. I'm not sure if he has a mic. But anybody else have any other questions?
Don't be shy.
That's right. Let's see, is anything going on in the chat? Question above. Oh, looks like Robert's got a question here. How many backlinks should a local company be trying to obtain each month to keep rankings moving up?
Oh man, that's a pretty complex question. You know, I think it's advantageous to focus on each of the keys. Like I wouldn't say put all of your eggs in the backlinks basket and expect results. So I would kind of diversify from the keys. And I would say if you receive a handful of links, especially if you're targeting a localized market, then I think you're in pretty good shape. It really depends on how far-reaching you want your SEO strategy to be. If you're regional or national, I'd say there'd be probably more than that. You're talking in the 10, 15, 20 links each month. But really, our strategy is to diversify from all of those keys. Like I would equally say if you're getting 5 backlinks a month or a week or whatever it may be, I would say to get those same number of reviews would be just as advantageous and successful.
Okay. Very good. How important is it to have blogs on your website? I know that they've become very popular the last few years, and some of the websites that I get on and look at the blog, some of them are, you know, they haven't updated anything for months type deal. But how important are having the blogs to getting higher rankings?
Yeah. So blogs are actually extremely important because that goes back to creating and publishing that new, fresh, curated content. If Google can index your website and see that you're providing that continuous advice, expertise, knowledge to your potential customers, that does nothing but help your authenticity and, you know, really expertise factor in Google's mind. So blogs are extremely important, but what I would say on the flip side is they're not important if you're not going to focus on the quality of content. Like you can't just throw up a blog post with subpar content and expect results. So it's that balancing act of really providing that high quality content. If that's something that you do once a quarter or even once a month, rather than just farming out blog posts once a week, you'll see more results if it is curated content. And that's really kind of what Crop Inc. does. We publish a blog article probably once a month, once a quarter, and really every time you publish a new post or update that content, it pings Google that it needs to re-index your site. So the more often they can re-index, heck, the better.
That's great. Good deal. Well, we ended right at 10:30. That is good timing, just like we like to. Thank you so much for your presentation, Tyler. Absolutely phenomenal. You definitely, there's a reason why you're having the success in business that you are. So continued luck. And we appreciate everyone attending. Next week's will be on banking, so we're excited for that one. There will be some great content there to make sure that you're covered, got yourself covered in having another resource for your business. Like to thank the Small Business Development Center and the Idaho Innovation Center for getting these going, and thank you for everyone's participation. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks, Tyler.
Thank you. See you guys.